Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Abdul Rashid. A bit about myself. Okay, prior to this, I'm industrial design trained from NUS, and before becoming a lecturer, I was working in a few companies such as Creative Technologies, your Zen MP3 players and whatnots. At OWASA, I did fountain design, and some of them was actually at the back in the Olympics for the China Olympics, where they had the Z building over that one. And my last job was actually a firefighter at SCDF. Now I'm design lecturer at Singapore Poly, okay, doing experience design. But this talk today is not so much about experience design, it's actually about good design based on Islamic principles. Okay, the thing about this is actually it came about from being frustrated at all the other values that you have there when you're starting out as a designer. You have a lot of design philosophies outside, like bigger is better, less is more, Zen design and everything. And when I was starting out, I was quite confused because it was very conflicting. So which one is right? Which one gives about good design? Is good design universal? Is it subjective? And it was actually a very long and a painful process to actually come up with these three principles at the end of the day. Okay, so by the end of this talk, actually for my case, is actually I wish that all of you do not take things per se and it's given to you. I wish that when you go back, you start questioning things like why is this is being used, and whether is it right or wrong. Okay, that kind of thing. Just start questioning, because at the end of the day, when I was it was to even Google Islamic design principles, it was almost non-existent. Okay, so I think you take a look at this photo. So I think at least more than half of you are design students. And when you started out, this is one of those days when you start to design, and I had no idea what being a Muslim designer was. Actually, eat, live, and breathe design. You eat, live, and breathe at your work desk, and that's how it goes about. Okay, I think it's an almost familiar sight for at least more than half of you over here. Okay, then when I started going out, right, you start to question certain things. You start to open up your eyes. And am I doing the right thing as a designer? When I was working at OWASA and was doing fountain design, you start to question, all that energy, all that water could have been used for something else better. Why am I doing this? Okay, why am I designing something which I can't even afford? Okay, you start to question all these things. And this is a reminder for myself before I started out. It was when I was looking through the magazine, I saw a $300 cheese grater. And I thought that, oh, this must be really damn expensive, must be really good lah. And you started looking around for answers for what is good design. Okay, you start to look at dithrams and even Eastern and Western philosophies. Most of the time when you start comparing, there's a lot of conflicts, and they do not stand through the test of time. Some of them expire because design changes over time. And then you started going up. Okay, you have design awards. Maybe they have the answer to what is good design. Okay, so but then again, you see that all these awards and everything inside are actually pretty much man-made award categories. So they will dictate what is good design. Same thing as anything as man-made, everything has a flaw. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply for one. It's very good, it feels good to win something. But keep in mind that they will not be the thing that be the basis of will decide what is good design. So what exactly is good design? Any design activity that pleases Allah. That is the basis of everything that you do. Okay? There's no doubt about it. Okay? When you are a Muslim designer, you're coming from a Muslim perspective, that is the only thing that you will do. Everything for the sake of Allah. Okay? When you start to design, you will start to think that you're doing the right thing. Let's say, for example, you're designing a poster. This poster sells ads for beers and everything. Would that be along the lines that pleases Allah? Okay? And then you start designing things like maybe interior design, or you do persuasive design. There are other design aspects that when you actually apply your design principles, you can actually persuade people to purchase more, to buy more, to even deceive people. but maybe in terms of awards, they win something. But when you put this in line, is your design pleasing Allah? So if it isn't, then it's not good design. Plain and simple. That is all that I think maybe throughout my 4 to 5 years of actually searching, this is the only answer that you will get. And I think maybe we can open up a discussion. We could maybe talk about this later. So what are the things that please Allah? Okay, there's nothing almost explicit within our community that tells us you should design this way, or a surah or hadith that you need to design. But we can make a return to the Quran, return to the hadith, and return to the sunnah. All these things you need to extract certain things, parts of this thing that will guide you in terms of your good design. Okay? You have a lot of design principles out there, maybe 10 or more. Even Dieter Rams come up with 10 basic principles of good design. But what I came up with is actually distilling 3 principles that actually when you put them together, they will provide you at least a guideline for you to do good design. Okay, when it comes to other principles outside, when secular design, Western or Eastern philosophies, you can either mix and match. But what I come up with actually, or at least for myself when I do my own guidelines right now to do good design, these things must interact, must coincide. And then you probably have a good sensation of feeling that, okay, this thing is, inshallah, will be good design. Okay, so now we might want to do some mental notes. And the first basic design principle is NAWAITU, or your niat. Okay, throughout all my researches and everything, there is absolutely almost nothing that comes down to niat for design principle, because at least in terms of the commercial world, there's only one niat for you to do when to design, which is actually consumerism, capitalism, and consumption. Everything that you do, your design, you go to a shopping mall, they make you spend more and more. Your posters, they make you design to go spend or go do something or do a lot of things that takes you away from the path of Allah. Okay, your niyat in this case it starts from, there's actually 2 levels, which is actually starts from your heart, which is actually to please Allah. Okay, your niyat. So whatever that you start with a good intention, inshallah, we start off with a good design. The next thing is to make things easy. Okay, you're talking about usability. Okay, the Prophet said, okay, make things easy for the people. Okay, these are the things about usability. If you're designing something, it must be easy to be used. If you're designing a chair, make sure that people can sit on it. I wonder if you guys remember chairs in the MRT stations that you can't even sit on. When you sit on it, that you slide it off immediately, and then they took it off. So what's the point of having that? If you're supposed to just lean it, then make sure people lean. And if you're supposed to be sat on, make sure you design sat on. Okay, so how do you actually make things easy? Something for the students to take away: user testings and observations. There is no excuse for you not to do any user testings or observations when you do your design. Okay, how do you make it easy for someone? Do tons and tons and tons of observations and user testings. There's no room for not doing that. 50 to 100 user testings, that's actually the minimal that you need to do. And last but not least is the middle path. Okay, I go back to this thing called less is more. Okay, what exactly is less? To me, less is less and more is more. Okay, there's no such thing as less is more, because it's damn confusing. At the end of it, what we are trying to say is actually take the middle path, which is actually path of moderation. What maybe less is more trying to achieve is you already done enough to show that this is actually achieving its design intent. Okay, you look at this example. Okay, you might think that this is less is more, but it's actually just enough. So what I'm trying to do is actually try to take away the complications of whether should I do more, should I do less. You just do enough. And okay, so basically, gonna sum up 3 key basic principles of design is actually when you have your niyat and ease of use, and have moderation. Confluence of all 3 things will actually come out in the path of Allah. Thank you very much.